They talking about us like we forgot or something, like we don't know who we are. I'ma tell you right now that we are Winter Haven.
Winter Haven, Florida, home of the Devils. Other cities you can do it, we can do it better. Polk County finest, yeah, come and find us. Other schools running, yeah, you running right behind us. We on like a light switch on. Ooh, I think they like it. We on, yeah, 'cause we on.
Thank you very much. My siblings Pam and Marlon are here with me also, and we are elated to accept this honor on behalf of our mom, Coach Josephine Austin. Mom would not have been able to achieve and accomplish the many things that are mentioned in her bio without the help of her former players, coaches, co-workers, and family, which included her husband, the late Reverend Robert Austin, and her oldest daughter, the late Wanda Wilson. So one might ask, what equipped her with the tools to teach and coach? What motivated her to become an advocate for girls' sports? Well, it was her love for sports, which began at a young age, where she became a player at Union Academy High School and Tennessee State University.
But if Mom was here, she would say, children are a gift from the Lord, and parents entrusted these most precious gifts to me to teach them the value of hard work and unselfishness, among many other positive character traits. But through her tireless efforts of fighting to open doors of equality for female student athletes and female coaches, doors were opened for me also. Her love for the sport became my love for sports.
In spite of my sister Pam not being able to play high school basketball, she still followed in Mom's footsteps by playing college basketball. As my brother Jim and I attended Lady Blue Devil practices and games, we watched our mom's passion, her discipline, her dedication for the game, and that inspired us to become boys basketball coaches. And we applied those same qualities to become successful coaches as well. With the return of girls track and field in 1972, she coached the blue and gold to become a track powerhouse in Polk County. And when girls basketball returned, she coached the new Lady Blue Devils to a perfect season, opening the doors for players like Brenda Elrod, Robin Elkins, Lisa Emery, Dorothy Lewis, Brenda Robinson, and many others. She also had former players like Robin Elkins and LaDon Gibson that became successful basketball coaches for the girls' game.
But I can hear my mom saying, success is not only measured by wins and losses, but how you play the game called life. She realized that she must not only toss them that orange ball to travel up and down the court and pass them the little baton to run around the track, but she must equip them with ways to deal with the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
So to the committee for the inaugural Winter Haven High School Athletic Hall of Fame, thank you very much again for this prestigious award, because we know our moms would be truly honored. Therefore, we are proud to accept it on her behalf. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Gary Diedrich, the youngest son of Jack and Betty Diedrich. I'm very grateful to the Hall of Fame committee for honoring my dad and for remembering his contributions to Winter Haven High School. While being grateful for this recognition, it's bittersweet with Dad not here and to share this moment. If he were here, he would want you to know that any success that he had was due to the players that he had the privilege to coach, to the assistant coaches he served with, and most importantly, to Jesus Christ, his personal Lord and Savior. Though Dad may be gone, I trust that his legacy lives on through the countless lives that he touched. When Dad passed away in March of 2018, almost 6.5 years ago, he was almost 96 years of age. And as we went through his belongings, we found a number of things that were related to his coaching career. On the table beside his lazy boy chair, we found in the drawer there a list of all the rosters of the 30 teams that he coached while he was at Winter Haven High School. Dad loved to get out this list, reminisce about the players. He made little markings, little notes about players. He loved making contact with the players. This was Dad's legacy. Dad truly loved his players. Another thing we found in Dad's belongings was a small little book where he had written down some of his life stories. They included when he was in the Army Air Force during World War II as a B-25 pilot. They included stories from when, after he retired from coaching basketball, he went on several mission trips to South America and had wonderful experiences there. But he did share some stories in this small little book from his days of being a basketball coach. And I just want to read to you from his own words, some of the things that he said. He said, early in my tenure at Winter Haven, we played our home games in the National Guard Armory. And this is down by Denison Field. It was only about 2/3 the length of a regulation gym with a basket at each end on the wall. We did well playing there, but when we played away on a regulation floor, we weren't used to running that distance and we faded in the fourth quarter. We were very glad when Winter Haven got its own gymnasium. Dad also went on to say that the idea that I was always calm at a game is erroneous, as I did get a few technicals in my time. One night we were playing at Haines City, and one official was calling a lot of things wrong from my perspective. During a timeout, he came over to the scorer's table, and I went over to him, took my glasses off, and I handed my glasses to him and said, "Sir, you need these worse than I do." Well, he gave me a technical foul. I guess he didn't like a smart aleck old man. We knew when we went to Hillsborough County to play, we had to be at our best because of the officiating both in football and in basketball. We were playing Hillsbury High School, and again, the officials seemed to be partisan. I got a technical, and then eventually another technical. So the official ejected me from the game. In fact, he threw me out of the gym. It was raining outside so hard that I had to go back inside, and I sat at the top of the bleachers, and a policeman came and sat with me to guard me. Gorman Ayers took over as coach that night, and he said he thought he could have won the game, but they just ran out of time. One night we were playing Jesuit over in Tampa. Gary, that was me, was keeping the scorebook. A ball went flying out of bounds near the scoring table, and Gary yelled, "Our ball!" Well, the referee said, "No, it's our ball." That was home cooking at its finest. Since my dad's passing, I've had a number of people express to me very kind words about my dad. They've said things like, "He was a great coach," or "He was such a fine gentleman." I'd like to conclude this evening with an account from my dad's life, written in his own words, as to why he was the person that he was. Dad wrote, "In 1959, there was a citywide revival at the Nora Mayo Auditorium put on by the Southern Baptist churches. Brick Osley, the athletic director and football coach at Winter Haven, was to give a testimony, so he invited the athletes and coaches to attend. I decided to go out of loyalty to Coach Osley. When he gave his testimony, he said, "Everybody wants to win, but the only way to be a true winner is to be on God's side." The speaker spoke, and I don't remember his message, but he asked all that were saved to raise their hands. I looked around and I saw neighbors and students with their hands up. I was under conviction that I needed something to fill that void in my soul. I didn't go forward that night, but when I got home, Betty could tell I was under conviction. She called our pastor from the church that we used to attend in Lakeland, and the next morning he came over to our house. We talked for a long time. Finally, I knew I needed to get right with God. So I got on my knees by the couch and asked the Lord to come into my heart and save me. And he did. When I got up, there were tears of joy in my eyes, and a heavy weight had been lifted off of me. Truly, Jesus had taken away all my sin. Life is very short. We don't know how much time we have left, as God has never promised us a tomorrow. My life was changed on October 11th, 1959. I am not perfect, but I pray that you are saved. And if not, that you will be saved soon. Jack Diedrich. He loved the Lord. He loved his family. He loved basketball.
My name is Wendy Jordan Woodell. I'm excited to be here tonight to introduce my husband, Coach Harry Woodell, as he's inducted into the Winter Haven High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I never thought I would have married a coach and become a coach's wife. It was a remarkable journey and so much fun most of the time. I was the official scorekeeper at all the home cross country and track meets at Winter Haven High School. And I often suspected that the reason he married me was so he would have a permanent scorekeeper for all the meets. The first thing as a coach's wife that I learned was not to try to make small talk with him at the meets. He was very focused with the task at hand. He was always trying to learn something new about track and field. He bought books, videotapes, and he was always going to track and field clinics. He was always trying to get the latest coaching methods. Harry could coach all events in track and field, a pretty rare thing, but he felt he owed it to his athletes. He continued to learn throughout his coaching career. Coach Harry Woodell was nationally recognized in the United States as being one of the top sprint coaches in the United States. Winter Haven High School's 4x100 sprint relay team were the 1994 Golden West National Champions. And did you know that during this time, our school was known as Sprinter Haven? He was also selected to the prestigious Track Florida Club as their sprint coach. And they would practice in the summer times and go all around the country to compete. He had a vast network of top college track coaches and Olympic coaches in the United States that he had contact with. Coach Harry Woodell was selected to the Florida Athletic Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2012 for his impact on high school sports in Florida. Harry later on expanded and taught speed development to future pro football players as well as future pro baseball players throughout Central Florida. Harry truly loved his young men. If one of them needed track shoes, he would drive to the track shack in Orlando the night before the meet and buy shoes and spikes for them. He always made sure his young men had what they needed, including food. On Saturday track meets in Orlando, the night before, he would always fix a lunch. And I can still see all of those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches spread out in the kitchen counter. So all of his athletes got not only peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a banana, but they also got 2 oatmeal cream pies. During the Christmas holidays, he would spend his vacation time at Denison Stadium getting the facilities ready for the grand opening official start of track practice in January. Harry was honored and proud to be a coach at Winter Haven High. It gives me great pleasure to induct my hero, Coach Harry Woodell, into the Winter Haven High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
My name is Harry Woodell. I am honored and humbled to stand before you tonight. I must give thanks to all the individuals who are responsible for this. First and foremost, I thank my Heavenly Father for giving me the talent, the knowledge, the work ethic to coach track and field. I thank my father and mother, the late James and Lucille Woodell. I was the 14th of 15 children of them in West Virginia. Thank you for installing in me the desire to learn, to get an education, the desire to work hard, and the desire to give back and help others. Thank you to my brothers and sisters for looking out and taking care of me as I was growing up. Thank you to the late Coach A.L. Buck Dawson and the late Herman Lofton for hiring me in the fall of 1979. I left Winter Haven High School in the fall of 1982 in quest of a head coaching job in track and field. Dr. John Stewart hired me back in the fall of 1983. Thank you, Dr. Stewart, for bringing me back home. Without these individuals, I would not be standing before you tonight. I met my future wife, Wendy Jordan Woodell, in the fall of 1983. Dr. John Stewart also hired her as an English teacher here at Winter Haven High School. Thank you to my wife, Wendy, and my son, Andrew, for their support and the encouragement over the years. It was difficult and hard being married to a celebrity. Wendy has a building named after her on the campus at Winter Haven High School. I would have a lot of students in my class that she also had. They would always ask me, Coach Woodell, is your wife taller than you? I would always remain calm and politely tell them, yes, she is, but we are the same size, same height when I stand on my wallet. Thank you to all the principals, athletic directors, and assistant track coaches that I worked with. Thank you to all the volunteers who helped host the numerous cross-country and track and field meets that Winter Haven High School hosted. Thank you to all the young men who ran cross-country and track and field at Winter Haven High School. A very special thank you to Gina Williams, the current principal at Winter Haven High School, for her leadership in establishing the Winter Haven High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you to all the parents of the young men that I coached at Winter Haven High School. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your children's lives. I tried to treat your children like they were my own. We sure had a lot of fun together. In accepting this award, I accept this on the behalf of all the young men who ran track and cross country at Winter Haven High School. I did not score 1 point. You did. This is your award. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Tucker. It is my privilege to have this opportunity to be a part of this special event, the inauguration of Winter Haven High School Athletic Hall of Fame. There has been many great coaches at Winter Haven High School over the years that influenced many young students. Being a coach is a person that wears many hats: knowledge of the sport, knowledge of their players, and the ability to connect with each player. As principal of Winter Haven High School, I had no doubt who to hire as head of Winter Haven High School women's basketball varsity team. I knew that LaDon Gibson had been an outstanding player in her own right. I saw that LaDon was an exceptional as a people person, one that could relate and communicate to her students and players. Fast forward, LaDon developed one of the very best school girls basketball programs in the state of Florida. Nothing short of demanding high expectations as individuals and as a team. It was done through hard work and through tough discipline. But more impressive was her expectations of her athletes off the court, in the classroom, and in their community. Over a 15-year span of coaching, LaDon had over 30-plus athletes to receive athletic scholarships. LaDon had great support from her coaching staff, parents, and community. I must mention her greatest spectators at every game were her mother and family members. God has surely directed your steps, LaDon. You will always be loved, and I can say a lifelong friend. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Coach LaDon Gibson into the Winter Haven High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
The words legend, icon, GOAT is sometimes used very loosely nowadays, but these words describe Coach Gibson perfectly. She put the LBD Winter Haven Lady Blue Devils program on the map. I can remember over 20 years ago sitting in her kitchen, she would map out our practices to our scheduling on how she wanted to make the program not only the best in the county and the state, but how she wanted to make the program the best in the country. Not only because she's won over 400 games, put over 90 girls into college, not just because she became the first girls basketball coach to win state titles, not only because she became the first boys or girls coach to take a team to a national Final Four, but because simply she loves the kids. She loves her athletes, she loves her coaches. I want to personally thank Coach Gibson for teaching me about the game. I thought I knew the game, but she really opened my eyes, and I contribute most of my success to being her assistant coach and learning from her. If I'm not mistaken, this will be the third Hall of Fame for Coach Gibson. She went in as the Polk County Hall of Fame coach. She went into the Hall of Fame for the Polk County Community College Hall of Fame. And I might add, not only is she the greatest coach of all time, she was one of the greatest players to play in the county. So it gives me great pleasure and honor to introduce the GOAT, Coach LaDon Gibson, to the first class of the Winter Haven High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations, best friend.
She stands alone at number one, winning more than 87% of nearly 400 games over 12 years as head coach of girls basketball at Winter Haven High School. This could only be my sister, the legendary Coach LaDon Gibson. I had the vantage point of watching LaDon be a multiple sport youth star. At softball, she was a dominant hitter, and at basketball, volleyball, and track, always had a unique feel. Once she arrived in high school, LaDon focused mostly on basketball since softball, her favorite sport, was not yet sanctioned. In 1986, the year she graduated, until she coached players to higher levels, LaDon held both the girls' basketball scoring and rebounding records. And I believe that she may still hold the free throw percentage record, but that stat keeping isn't quite available. At the end of her high school career, I remember accompanying LaDon and our parents on a few college recruiting visits. She eventually decided to remain in Winter Haven to play basketball at Polk Community College. During her time there, she led the team to the state playoffs in 1987 and was recognized as the top JUCO free throw shooter in the country in 1988. As a footnote, of the recruiting visits, I personally liked FAMU most, which was ultimately extremely self-satisfying when 22 years later, she became the women's basketball coach there. But more on that part later, because this talk is about the legacy of Winter Haven High School girls basketball. LaDon began as the JV coach and went undefeated for 2 seasons, which was absolutely a thing. Believe it or not, the JV game attendance rivaled the varsity turnout, and the community must-have was there back-to-back undefeated t-shirts. But in 1996, 10 years after her high school graduation, LaDon officially became the head coach. Almost immediately, district titles became automatic, and state championships became the focus. By 2001, the Blue Devils were in the state finals for the first time and would appear in the state finals every year except 2003 until she left. Her record over 12 years is the best of any coach in any team sport in Florida over that time length. With a win-loss record of 331-48, she won state championships in 2005 and 2007. Florida Girls Basketball Coach of the Year in 2007. 6-time Ledger Coach of the Year, multiple state Class Coach of the Year awards, 10 district championships, and a consistent ranking in the USA Today national polls. She's produced an untold amount of highly decorated players and an even more impressive number of scholarship winners. In 2008, LaDon took the leap to coach Division I basketball at Florida A&M University, where she remained for 10 years. In her first season, she led the Lady Rattlers to a 14-game winning streak and MEAC Coach of the Year honors. She's lived a life of amazing athletic accomplishment and continues to support the growth and development of programs, coaches, and players. LaDon Gibson, congratulations on being inducted to the Winter Haven Athletic Hall of Fame. We could not be more proud.
I would like to thank God, who is the head of my life, for blessing me with the talent to be considered great. I would like to thank the committee for nominating me for such a prestigious award. Thank you. I would like to thank my parents for always supporting and believing in me. I would like to say a special thank you to Mr. Tucker. Mr. Tucker saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. When he approached me about coaching, I didn't think I was ready, but he instilled the confidence in me that made me believe that I can do it. Miss Alston, thank you. Thank you for taking a young girl like me and instilling what hard work looks like. You're the best coach anyone could ask for. To my brother Rashad, thank you for being right by my side through all the highs and the lows and being the best brother a girl could ask for. My assistant coach Johnny, thank you for being one of my best friends and confidants. To my former players, I'm not here without you. For all of the running, practicing, sacrifices you all made with me to help build the program to where it is today. Thank you. To my parents, community supporters, and entire city of Winter Haven, thank you. And lastly, to Ms. Gina Williams, thank you for asking me to come back to Winter Haven High School, which is home forever. Thank you.
Ooh, I think they like it, we on. Yeah, cause we on. We on.